A merciless wilderness, a landscape harsh and unforgiving, the Siberian taiga is a world of its own. In this world, the Siberian wilderness stands as an embodiment of isolation, its vast expanse a testament to nature's indifference towards mankind's struggle for survival. The frost-laden air bites into the skin, and the endless white scenery paints a picture of desolation that sends a chill up the spine. Amid this relentless landscape, hidden away from the world's prying eyes, stands a structure that embodies fear and despair, the prison known as Karakum. An ominous silhouette against the stark white backdrop, Karakum is a fortress of doom, its reputation as notorious as the harsh Siberian wilderness itself. This prison, shrouded in a cloak of dread, is whispered to be Russia's most unforgiving penal institution. Its name, carried by the icy Siberian winds, sends a shudder down the spine of even the most hardened criminals. Its imposing walls, guarded by watchtowers, loom over the desolate landscape like silent sentinels, a grim reminder of the fate that befalls those who dare cross its threshold. Inside, time freezes in the face of despair. The air, heavy with the scent of fear and regret, hangs ominously in the dimly lit corridors. The cold clang of iron doors echoes a chilling lullaby of captivity, while the faces of inmates, hardened by time and torment, lurk in the shadows like specters. And within this fortress of fear, at its very core, lies a place that strikes terror into the hearts of the damned, Cell 13. A place of nightmares, it is said to hold secrets so dark, they are beyond mortal comprehension. The very walls seem to pulse with the memories of tormented souls, and an unsettling chill pervades the air. And in its cold iron heart lay the most feared place of all, Cell 13. This is where our story begins, in the heart of Siberia, in the shadow of Karakum, where the whispers of the past and the shadows of the present intertwine to create a tale of chilling horror. One chilling night, a new name was whispered in the corridors of Karakum, Alexei. The name echoed off the cold stone walls, creating a chilling symphony of dread that reverberated throughout the prison. A fresh soul had arrived, destined to taste the bitterness of life within these haunted walls. Alexei, once a man of resilience and strength, now found himself standing at the threshold of his new dwelling, Cell 13. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum heralding impending doom. The heavy iron door creaked open, revealing a world that seemed to have been forgotten by time, a world where hope seemed to wither and die. His breath hitched as he stepped into the cell, the chilling cold biting into his skin. The room was cloaked in an eerie half-light that danced on the damp stone walls, casting long and ghastly shadows. He could see the cryptic carvings left by previous inmates, their silent pleas and desperate prayers etched into the cold stone. The door closed behind Alexei with a finality that echoed through the silence of the cell. He felt a cold shiver run down his spine, as if the very air in the room was welcoming him into its cold iron embrace. The reality of his predicament slowly began to seep into his consciousness, wrapping him in a cloak of despair. The eerie silence of the cell was broken only by the distant clanging of iron doors and the hushed whispers of the wind. As he settled into his new surroundings, Alexei felt an unsettling presence. The tales of the haunted Cell 13 seemed to come alive, their chilling whispers slowly filling his mind, gnawing at his sanity. The cell, with its cold stone walls and eerie shadows, seemed to be a living entity, its breath the chilling draft that swept through the room. Alexei could feel the weight of the cell's dark history pressing down on him, the echoes of its past inhabitants whispering their tales of despair. His first night in Cell 13 was filled with restless sleep and haunting dreams. The shadows seemed to dance on the walls, whispering tales of the tortured souls who had once called this place home. His heart pounded in his chest as he fought to silence the rising fear within him. As the door of Cell 13 closed behind him, a foreboding chill wrapped around In the dead silence of the night, the walls of Cell 13 began to speak. Alexei, once a man of resolute courage, now found himself in the suffocating grip of fear. The strange whispers that filled his cell were not the product of the wind nor the creaking of the old prison structure. They were voices, murmurs of past inmates, echoing through time. At first, the whispers were soft, barely audible. But as the days turned into nights, they grew louder, more insistent. They spoke of despair, of torment, of life stolen away in the cold, heartless confines of Karakum. Alexei tried to ignore them, tried to convince himself that it was nothing more than his mind playing tricks on him. But the whispers were relentless. They seeped into his dreams, filled his waking thoughts, and slowly they began to erode his sanity. And then there were the shadows. They danced on the damp stone walls of his cell, grotesque figures that twisted and writhed in the dim light. They were not mere illusions cast by the flickering bulb hanging from the ceiling. They were alive, entities birthed from the prison's malevolent past. They watched him, followed his every move, their silent presence a constant reminder of the prison's dark history. Each day, Alexei felt his fear growing, gnawing at his courage, sapping his strength. He began to see faces in the shadows, hear names in the whispers. He felt eyes on him, always watching, always waiting. His heart pounded in his chest, his sleep became restless and his appetite waned. He was a prisoner not just to Karakum, but to the whispers and shadows that haunted cell 13. Despite his growing terror, Alexei tried to fight, to rationalize the phenomena. He told himself it was the isolation, the fear, the oppressive atmosphere of Karakum that was making him see and hear things. But deep down, he knew he was lying to himself. The whispers were real, the shadows were real, and they were slowly driving him to the brink of madness. The whispers grew louder, the shadows more menacing, and Alexei, he was losing himself. Days melded into nights, and the man named Alexei was no more. In the cold, unforgiving confines of cell 13, Alexei found himself locked in a chilling embrace with fear. His once bright eyes, filled with the fire of defiance, now held only a vacant stare that echoed the bleakness of his surroundings. The whispers that once seemed like mere figments of his imagination had now taken on a life of their own. They wound their way around his thoughts, wrapping him in a shroud of terror that seemed to seep from the very walls of cell 13 itself. The cryptic carvings stared back at him, their silent tales of torment becoming his only companions in the suffocating darkness. Something in the prison was changing him. The once robust man, who had carried the weight of his past with the strength of a bear, was now a shell, hollowed out by the relentless onslaught of fear. His skin, once tanned by the harsh Siberian sun, was now as pale as the snow outside. His muscular form, hardened by years of survival, was now reduced to a skeletal figure, like a ghost whispering through the shadows of the prison. His sanity, once his staunchest ally, was now a traitor, slipping away with every echoing whisper that danced on the walls of his cell. His mind had become a battlefield, with each passing day a losing fight against the unseen forces that seemed hell-bent on consuming him. The man who had walked into Karakum with his head held high was now a mere puppet, his strings pulled by the sinister whispers and shadows that filled his cell. The prison had claimed another victim, not by breaking his body, but by shattering his spirit. Alexei was no more. In his place stood a phantom, a reflection of the man he once was. The prison had not just confined him, it had transformed him. The once defiant inmate was now a prisoner of his own mind, trapped in a never-ending nightmare that was cell 13. He was but an echo, a shadow of the man who had once entered cell 13. The legend of Karakum, the whispers of cell 13, they were eternal. The enigma of Karakum, its chilling tales, and the unanswered mystery of cell 13, all remain locked away, hidden deep within the Siberian wilderness. The echoes of the past, the whispers of the tormented souls, continue to breathe life into the legend of this formidable institution. Alexei, once a man of strength and determination, found himself entrapped not just within the cold iron bars, but within the haunting mystery of Cell 13. The whispers that once seemed like a figment of his imagination turned into a constant, eerie refrain. The shadows that danced in the dim light of the cell morphed into menacing specters, each day more unsettling than the last. His transformation was profound. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Alexei's spirit was gradually eroded by the relentless whispers and the ever-present shadows. He was no longer the man he used to be. Instead, he became a part of Karakum's chilling narrative, a living testament to the prison's malevolent past. His fate, much like the fate of those who found themselves in the icy grip of Karakum, remains a mystery. Did he succumb to the tormented souls that allegedly haunted Cell 13? Or did he merely lose himself in the horrifying tales that echoed through the dimly lit corridors of Karakum? The whispers of Cell 13 continue to echo, a chilling reminder of the prison's dark past and the lives it has claimed. The unresolved fate of Alexei, much like the enigma of Karakum, adds another layer to the chilling legend of this Siberian prison. The icy winds of Siberia continue to sweep across the desolate landscape, carrying with them the haunting echoes of Karakum and its victims. The tales of the prison's malevolence, the whispers behind the iron bars, remain forever imprinted on the Siberian wilderness, a chilling testament to the prison's grim history. As for Alexei, only the icy winds of Siberia know his fate, forever whispering his name in the desolate wilderness.